when we start realizing how this sense of me is really suffering, this sense of being a separate me, the me that I believe to be, that is suffering. And you come across this in some of these non-duality channels or books, circles. And a very common thing that happens for seekers is the desire to get rid of me, where you are trying to get rid of this sense of me. You're trying to get rid of yourself, essentially. And this isn't how it works, because that actually is reasserting that me. It's the me that's trying to get rid of the me. And the effort to try and get rid of the me actually sustains it, maintains it, makes it feel more solid, makes it feel more real. This me that I believe to be, the separate me, is like a mirage. Let's call it the mirage of me. Now, what is a mirage? A mirage is like this optical illusion. If you're into running or cycling or just out on a hot day and might feel like there's kind of a hump on the ground or a little hill. And on these really hot days, it actually looks like the road is wet. It makes this appearance of like a puddle, that there's water, or this is experienced in the desert. It might look like there's like water, like a source of water up there ahead. But it's just an appearance. What happens when you get closer to what you are believing to be this puddle or this source of water or the wet asphalt? What happens when you actually get closer to it? You start looking for where's that water? Where's that puddle? Where is that source of water? You start realizing that this asphalt is not wet. It only appeared to exist from a distance. Now, like that analogy, the me is nothing but a mirage. The separate me, the me that I believe to be, who I think I am, it's just like the mirage. That from a distance, if we aren't exploring, if we never question, if we don't investigate, if we don't experientially explore, then this me always just looks a lot like that mirage. It's an appearance. There appears to be a separate me. But by exploring, as we get closer and closer, where is this sense of self? Where is this separate me? It feels like an entity. It appears to be an entity that exists on its own, that is separate from everything else. But as we experientially explore, as we get closer to it, we never find it. Just like you never find that water source, you never find the puddle, you never find the wet asphalt. But it takes you to go closer. It takes going closer. It takes actually exploring it to what you think is there. to then realize that it's not actually there. Now, likewise, or just like this mirage, it's like trying to get rid, when you're saying, how do I get rid of the me? Or this quest to try and get rid of yourself. I feel separate. The sense of me is very strong. Now, it appears like there's someone there telling me that I don't exist, and this is causing my suffering. Well, I want to get rid of the suffering. How do I get rid of me? How do I get rid of me? I'll do anything to get rid of me. I'm working on getting rid of myself. You've now got a new goal. And what I'm saying is that actually just strengthens that sense of me. That just solidifies it. It reasserts it. It makes it more believable. There's more imagination going into that. And it's a lot like trying to get rid of the puddle, get rid of the water. It's a lot like trying to get rid of the mirage. You can't get rid of the mirage. You can't get rid of the puddle. You can't get rid of the water source. Why? Because it never existed. It never existed. You can't get rid of something that never existed. It only is an appearance. It's about realizing that it never existed. Now, just like that mirage, you realize that the water never existed only when you get closer, when it's explored. And like that, that's what we're doing, is we're exploring that sense of me, that which feels so real, that which feels so solid, so separate, so limited. We're saying, well, this is a belief. There's actually no evidence of separation. There's no evidence of being limited. It only appears like that because we're not exploring it. We're not investigating. We're staying far away. Just like when you're far away from the mirage that looks to be water over there, you don't know that it's a mirage at first. It actually looks like water. You don't look at it from the bottom of the hill or just over that hump in the road where the hump actually feels like there's water, like that pavement must be wet at the top. It only looks like that from 100 feet away. You don't actually call it a mirage when you're 100 feet away. What you're calling it is water. Just like that, when it's not explored, when you aren't close, when you don't investigate it, it looks like me. That's the me right there. From a distance, yes, there appears to be me. From a distance, yes, there appears to be water. And as you go closer and actually explore, what is the reality of this? You don't find the me. You don't find something separate. You don't find a limitation. You're not finding the me. You're not finding the me that you believe to be. You find something else. You find what you really are. You're not finding who you think you are, you're finding what you really are. You're not finding any limitation. You're discovering that you are limitless. You're not discovering something separate. You are realizing that you are actually whole. Undivided. Indivisible. And this is only realized by exploring experientially. If we're not exploring experientially, then we're just kind of staying away from it at a distance. Where it's always going to look like, yeah, there's water up there. About 100 feet away, that's water. 100 feet away, yeah, that's me. The limited separate self that I believe to be, the one with all the problems, the one that's unhappy. The one that's saying that this is not it. And by exploring experientially, you're checking it out for yourself. The same way when you get closer to that water, it should be here, right? It should be about here. I walked, that was 100 feet. It should be, where is it? But you're not just finding nothing. You're realizing the truth that you've never been separate. The me that I believe to be never existed. That you've always been free. That you were just imagining to be in bondage. You were just imagining to being limited. You're imagining that you are unhappy. You're imagining to be looking for something. What was I looking for? This is it. I am this. Unlimited, whole, complete, full. There is only this, and I am that. What was I even looking for? Ironically, you're looking for yourself. You're looking for the truth of what you really are. And knowing what you really are is happiness. It is love. It is peace. It is freedom. It is wholeness, completeness, fullness. It is rest. So you don't find who you think you are. which might sound like a letdown, but you instead find everything that you've ever been looking for. And you realize that you are everything that you've been looking for. Everything that you have been looking for is you. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.